What's going on, homies? It's your boy StumpD back from the OPTC video, and in today's video we're diving into some PvP Pirate Rumble with the new Lore and Kid, the new Driven Powerhouse Destroyer on the Free Spirit team. So the team looks a little bit like this down below, as you guys can see. I put together pretty much the generic Free Spirit team, but I've taken out Roger and added Lore and Kid. Now, Lore and Kid are an exceptionally powerful unit when you are versing Driven and Powerhouse. So what I've done is I've dived into a bunch of the challenge fights. We're starting off with BlueJam, the Driven, quick Driven sort of centric team, and we're going to be taking on that. We're going to be taking on the Dex Pell team, which has a lot of Powerhouse characters on it, as well as the Sasaki Strength team, which has a lot of Powerhouse and Driven there as well. So the big three in terms of Strength, Dex, and Quick. I was going to take on stuff like Apu and Rogue, but honestly, like, those fights are kind of outdated now, and they're actually quite easy. But look, I might look at adding some more content, maybe a short against Apu. If you guys want to see that, let me know in the comment section below. And while you're down there, bell, like button, the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. But as you can see, we've just been absolutely decimating BlueJams and the quick Driven team. There's not a lot of defense on this particular build, so unfortunately, like, our Free Spirits can sort of just tear through it. Once we hit the back end of this fight, we just do so much damage with Luffy Yamato, but the team actually does a butt ton of damage moving forward with stuff like Lore and Kid, with Sanji, with Odin. You just basically just get your way through the HP of the quick Driven team fairly simply and fairly easily. They're not bad, they're very squishy. They do a lot of HP counts and stuff, and as you can see, wasn't an issue taking them down at all. Let's move on to the Dex fight now, where they're a little bit more tanky. Alright, so on to Dex Pell now, and his Dex Powerhouse Driven sort of central team. This team actually has a lot of Driven Powerhouse units on it, so it works out really, really nicely for our boys Lore and Kid to actually take them down. But what do Lore and Kid do in PvP? What is their passive, and how good are they going to be moving forward? Well, their Rumble ability gives level 6 attack, HP, and speed to Free Spirit and Driven characters. Inflicts level 5 attack and defense down debuff to Driven and Powerhouse. So, as you can see, nerfing attack, nerfing defense is very, very good, and then giving yourself a lot of buffs as well. Not only do they work on the Free Spirit team, but they do work on the Driven team, and like I said, let me know in the comment section below if you guys want to see more content with this character, maybe utilizing them on a more Driven-centric team. Taking a look at their Rumble special at level 10, it inflicts level 5 defensive down debuff to Driven and Powerhouse characters for 20 seconds, does a 50% chance to paralyze Driven and Powerhouse characters for 20 seconds, and then 3.7 times attack in damage to 3 enemies with the highest HP. Now, ideally, you want to be versing Driven Powerhouse when using this, so that way you can reduce the defense by level 5 to then do that 3.7 times attack. That is a lot of damage output to the highest HP enemies. However, being on the highest HP enemies, as you guys see here against like Luffy and Queen and stuff, it's a little bit annoying because if they're at such a high HP threshold, you're very rarely going to actually kill them. The damage output that you're getting isn't exceptional to the point where it can just like one-shot stuff. Plus, if you lower the defense of Driven Powerhouse and then 3 Free Spirit characters have the highest HP, it's not actually going to be hitting those units. So it's a bit of a wonky way of wording their special. I do wish it just said targets 3 Driven or Powerhouse enemies. That way you're just guaranteed to hit something you've just done the 5 defense down to. But that 3.7, it's still very strong. It's still a very powerful hit, and it's a very good damage output. Overall, their passive works incredibly nicely because it gives a lot of bulk with HP, gives you a lot of speed and attack and attacking prowess with attack up level 6. But then if you are versing other Driven Powerhouse, you are reducing the defense as well. So this unit does seem more like an attacking unit rather than a defensive-based unit, and does bring some more speed and power to what Free Spirit are providing. However, Roger on the Free Spirit team provided a lot more sustain, in my opinion. The nerfing capabilities that Roger has is actually a little bit nicer. However, bringing them into a Free Spirit build, I feel like this was probably the best one to bring them into, utilizing the Monster Trio, because they just work so well in Pirate Rumble, as well as Odin being an absolute demon himself. Unfortunately, this team can't access a full bench because we are running 5 legends in the front. However, using something like Inazuma, Marigold, King, Pell, anything that's a very good nuker and can give like something to the team when it comes in, or give something when it comes in, is going to be very beneficial. I just added Inazuma because he's a Free Spirit. I've actually been enjoying using Inazuma when it comes to Free Spirit teams, but Marigold's another really good option. Rebecca Toy Soldier is actually a perfect option if you are running more Psy characters like Odin, because that way they come in and they work nicely. But the idea of Inazuma was to sort of help out Zoro, because Zoro is the one that's sort of always just left at the back end of the fight regardless. So that way you can actually do some nice stuff there. if Luffy Yamato survive and they get to that end there, you can do just butt tons of damage. And that's why I believe that Roger probably has a bit better use on the Free Spirit team, because the sustain seems just a little bit nicer than the damage output than what Kid and Law provide. Alright, so onto Sasaki now, and whenever you're versing strength nowadays, you have to be very careful. Strength is so unpredictable with stuff like King and Kid going through defense, Boa or the waifus giving that confusability, and then with the new Who's Who and Sasaki, like, they just go absolutely crazy. So be very careful when you are versing strength. You also have that strength slasher build that's very, very annoying to deal with Zoro on it, so just be mindful of that. But this is the Who's Who fight. It does have a lot of powerhouse on it with stuff like, the Sasaki fight with stuff like Who's Who, with Kid in the back being driven, Ulti, X-Drake, King, all being powerhouse characters. Kid Law also have a reduction to Driven and Powerhouse, and they're a very weird character being a Driven character themselves, but also reducing damage from Driven as well as Powerhouse. And this will stack, like, if you get attacked by a Driven Powerhouse character, which would have been great, actually showcasing against something like in teams that have a lot of Driven Powerhouse stuff like Top Musica and Moria. You're doing like not 60% because it doesn't add, it's like a multiplicative, but you're taking a lot less damage with this resistance. Plus, they cannot be silenced just like in regular content. With their switch removing silence in PvP, they remove silence as well. Their GP is actually very interesting as well. At level 5, their leader gives level 6 attack speed and crit to int characters, and then a level 4 HP buff to Free Spirit and Driven. Also a level 3 defense and CT speed to Free Spirit and Driven characters as well. The quick Driven team is awesome. Int has so many Driven characters on it, and the Free Spirit team is actually very, very good. It's just going to be a very interesting spot where to put this character for Grand Party if we are utilizing a team. I do think, like, chucking Roger on this Free Spirit team, having Rebecca Toy Soldier on the bench, you're sort of set with Free Spirit, and then finding a place for this unit or maybe a Driven-based team, or sliding them into the Int team. I think probably on the Driven team, keeping the Int-Driven sort of build a bit nicer, and then having stuff like BlueJam, Kid Law, Top Musica, all those types of characters that just boost Driven could be a very nice build. So I'd be probably keen to do maybe some more PvP stuff. I might try and put together a Driven team and see what we can do there, mainly for Grand Party showcasing content, but we'll definitely try them out when that comes around. After 5 Rumble specials, you can use their Burst, which does 1.5 times leader's base attack. That will ignore defense to one enemy with the highest HP, and then does 5 times their attack to all enemies. One unit is dying. Like, it's just straight up dying. Not just because it ignores defense, but it will get them low enough that 5 times attack should take them out fairly nicely, and I imagine we'll get the chocolates. But that's going to wrap up the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to go down there, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know how you guys think of this unit in PvP down below as well. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.